Hello, today we are continuing on the series about isolating your subject, and we're going to be talking about a really cool secret to taking your photos to the next level. Now, I don't like to say catchphrases like that because I think it's silly, but this is really one of those things that makes a huge difference into your ability to isolate your subject and separate them from the background using various forms of contrast. So let's get right into it. So what is this game-changing key? Well, it's all about contrast, as I mentioned, and I am not referring to just tweaking the contrast sliders in Lightroom or anything like that. This goes much deeper. Enhancing the contrast between your subject and your background, for example, can earn you genuine praise for your work. Our brains are naturally drawn to high contrast, so by mastering contrast in your shots, you can significantly boost your visual appeal. But remember, contrast comes with various forms, and I'm here to guide you through the 3 easy techniques that got me started into creating more contrast in my photos. First up is luminosity contrast. Make your subject the brightest or the darkest element in your frame to instantly capture the viewer's attention. This is probably the most powerful form of visual contrast, and here's a pro tip. Our eyes are naturally drawn to brightness rather than darkness. So personally, I prefer shooting a bright subject on a dark background most of the time. However, when executed well, light backgrounds can also create a striking effect. The key is just to make sure that your subject stands off with enough edge contrast so that it pops off the white. Next, we have color contrast. Utilizing opposing colors between background and your subject can make your subject truly pop, quote unquote. For instance, if your subject has warmish orange skin tones, placing them against a blue cool background creates an eye-catching contrast. But when you combine this with luminosity contrast, you create a striking combination that can take your photos to a whole new level. Again, I don't like those sayings, but it's really true. This is probably the best way to separate your subject from the background to create the contrast that makes it really easy to see what you want the subject to be. So first is luminance contrast, second is color contrast, and third, but not least, that I want to talk about today, and there's a lot more we could get into, but the last one that I want to touch on is contrast through detail. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, sometimes a busy background can steal the spotlight and distract from your subject. But fret not, my friends, because we can actually control the amount of detail that comes through by simply adjusting the background blur. And this is where it connects with my previous video. It's not always about opening up your aperture all the way. It's about making informed decisions regarding your aperture setting so that you can adjust the background blur to taste so that you can show or hide as much detail as you like. So that's the 3 techniques that I want to cover today. They are by far the most powerful way to separate your subject from the background, but I hope that these 3 straightforward steps will help you, and I hope that you'll witness a noticeable difference in the quality of your shots, and your peers will shower you with compliments like never before because, hey, they can see clearly what your subject is supposed to be. So before I wrap up, here's a little treat for all of you. My portrait lighting guide is absolutely free. If you haven't checked it out yet, I highly recommend it. Just head on over to lumauniversity.com and you can get it there for free. It shows you some amazing techniques for creating really high quality portraits. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up so that YouTube knows to recommend it to more people. It truly helps my channel a lot. And if you haven't already subscribed, please do that as well so that you don't miss my upcoming videos. I have a banger of a video coming out in just a few days. Until next time, stay luminous.